I saw you holding up your drink before, but let me see that drink again. It looks so good.
I know.
So how did you make it? Do you have a frother?
I do have a frother, but it's not a frothed. Froth. I can't remember. It's like a drink that's really popular on like all the social media networks right now. And I saw a YouTube video yesterday. I was like, I have to try that. I'm in quarantine, so I might as well treat myself with luxury items.
Yes.
So all it is like whipped instant coffee.
Okay. Okay. So you made your regular instant coffee with like black, and then you whip, or with milk?
No, so I made the instant coffee, 2 tablespoons of instant coffee, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of water. Then I blended it with my hand mixer or whatever. I put like half of the caramel protein and half almond milk. Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh my gosh.
That looks so good.
Okay, I can't wait till I can come over to your house and you can make me one of those.
But the caramel, like I'm a caramel coffee person. Like if there's not caramel in the coffee, I probably won't like it.
Oh yeah.
I'm a vanilla girl with my coffee. Like I always get like a vanilla iced coffee like anywhere I go.
Same here.
Vanilla.
I love vanilla. No, vanilla and caramel caramel's my go-to, but vanilla, if you ever try the vanilla coffee or vanilla cream coffee from Starbucks with almond milk.
Yeah.
Coffee with coconut and caramel also.
Oh.
Good.
I don't know if I've had like the little coconut addition to my coffee.
Oh my god. So they the Thousand Hills coffee shop or whatever in Roswell.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I have.
It's so cute. But they have like this drink called the Samoa. So it's named after the cookies.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's coconut and caramel. Oh my god.
Yum.
So good.
Yum.
Y'all, it's cold.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Girl, me too. I was scared so I was not only anxious because I had a long day. Like it was so draining. But I got home and I was like super nauseous. And then Mitchell made me soup, so like being nauseous made me even more anxious. So it was like, I need a nap. I need a fucking nap.
Yeah.
So I took a nap on the couch, and y'all, I feel and I haven't gotten a text from my boss about working tomorrow, so that makes me feel even better. Y'all, I feel so good.
I remember feeling that way when I was pregnant.
Oh shoot.
Shots fired.
Shoot.
Shots fired. This is how rumors get started, Anita.
It's not a rumor. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
We are making
Mitchell's gonna yell at you.
What? Mitchell would be so happy.
I have never heard Mitchell's pitch get above this. Like that, he always stays at this level. Like
Steph,
so calm.
You did a bad job, Steph. That's him being angry. Steph, go to your room.
That sounds exactly like something he would say. Young lady, little lady.
Steph, I can't deal with you right now.
Those words would never leave that motherfucker's mouth.
I wish they would never leave my husband's mouth. Anita, go away. Just go away. That's what he says to me. I'm not in the mood. Just go. Like, I just said, hey.
I just wanted to know how your day was going.
I just wanted a hug.
I was going to tell you dinner's ready.
Right. I don't even care anymore.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so do we want to go ahead and jump into our topic for today?
Sure.
Happiness. What is happiness?
All right. So the interwebs defines happiness as that feeling that comes over you when you know life is good and you can't help but smile. The opposite of sadness. Happiness is a sense of well-being, joy, or contentment. The pursuit of happiness is something this country is based on, and different people feel happiness for different reasons. Let's talk about how we would change that definition, because I really enjoyed that in attempt one of this episode.
Yeah.
If we could change this, what word would we change, Anita?
Like, I think or I don't want to say it that way, but sadness is not really like the it's not really happiness is not the opposite of sadness, but the counterpart of it.
Yeah.
I wish I had no cards that said ding ding ding. We have a winner.
$1,000.
All right. So, what is happiness to you, Steph?
Happiness to me. Shit. I think happiness to me, it's like little bits and pieces. Like, it's the whole thing. It's the big picture. It doesn't always necessarily mean you're smiling and everything's great, but it means that your surroundings are keep you going forward and looking forward to something.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, little moments like while we're living in Ronaville, like talking to you guys, coming home and seeing Mitchell here with the dogs. That's always nice to come home to. Like FaceTiming with my parents.
It's little moments of feelings that accumulate.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if people ask, like, I don't know, I feel like happiness can sometimes be like a scary thing, where if you think like, are you happy? Then you start thinking about like all aspects of your life, like my job, my social life, my family, relationship, etc. And it's like, no, there's definitely like room for improvement in all of these things. So when you think about if you do treat it like your whole life, the big picture, then it's scary, because you would have to say like, no, things aren't perfect. Of course they're not perfect, they never will be perfect. But I guess if you do treat it like little memories, and you remember the little like glimpses that you get of joy here and there, which is obviously, like, I find it a very hard thing to do on a day-to-day basis.
It's hard.
Yeah. But then you can say like, oh yeah, that was a happy moment right there. But I guess for me, it is hard to say like, that was a happy moment, but does that mean I am happy?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
That's really hard, because I mean, especially when you have anxiety, you literally jump to the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
At all times.
Well, if you think about like when you're old and you're close to dying, like, you're gonna think back and remember the happy moments. You might remember some of the stressful moments and like the times where you worked hard, but like when you're with your loved ones, like you're with Isla and you're with Emery and you're with Mitch and I'm with Yender and Talia, like down the road, I don't think I'm gonna remember like Yender being a douche some days. Yeah. And then I'm gonna remember the times where he's like super nice and like super loving and those things. I'm gonna remember the moments where Talia puts her hand on my hand and it just like feels so sweet. Like, I feel like those are the moments of happiness, and those are the things that are gonna last. And personally, when I'm on my deathbed, I would rather remember those moments than the moments where I wanted to stab my husband.
Yeah. But then how can you bring that deathbed experience to your everyday life? I don't want to wait until I'm like 85 years old to say, oh, I was happy, or I am happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like, in my opinion, which is totally unqualified, I feel like you just have to remember on a daily basis that like, not to focus on the bad every second, and focus on each moment and look at each moment for what it is. Yeah. Like, yes, that moment might be a shit moment, but then the next moment later, like 1 or 2 minutes later, those might be really good moments.
Yeah.
You know, like,
or like
with you being sick today, Steph, like you were sick for a couple hours, or you felt sick for a couple hours, then Mitch brought you soup. And then it made you feel good. But when you remember that moment, are you going to remember feeling bad, or are you going to remember the act of kindness that Mitch did for you?
Or at least both, right? Like not
at
just
least
feeling
both.
bad.
Yeah,
But
because like
then,
you said, I mean, it kind of ties back to how we change that one part opposite to counterpart, like
happiness and
sadness.
sadness work
It,
together.
yeah, because without the sad or the bad and the ugly, you can't appreciate the good, the joy, the fact that you're healthy, the fact that you got a roof over your head, or you got food, or you have someone that comes home and cooks for you, like me and Andy do and Yender does. So it's like they work hand in hand, and without one you really can't have the other.
Yeah.
Okay, then why don't we, if it's a counterpart, then let's talk about sadness. Like, what is sadness to you?
This moment makes me really sad right now. Just not being within like reaching.
Distance?
Yeah, like touching.
Yeah.
I want to breathe the same oxygen as you guys.
See, that doesn't, like, I don't feel that way. But I guess, like, I'm, like you said, you're, what is that word called? You're an extrovert.
Extroverted. Mhm.
Yeah. But I guess this means maybe I'm an introvert, where,
I mean, I
not to
think
say I don't miss you,
no,
but
it's
I
fine.
don't
You
want
don't
to
have
touch you.
Well, I'm a touchy-feely quality time kind of person.
I know. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
But no, I think it's this is just hard not being able to see the babies, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes, Anita.
But
Okay.
happiness is what I wanted to get back to.
I know,
Okay,
I know.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, all that
This
shit.
ain't Corona part 3.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry. You can cut
Gonna
that
have to
whole thing
cut
out.
that segment out and
Yeah,
then
go
put it
ahead
in
and-
part 3.
Yeah.
Go ahead and cut that out.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No,
Go
but
ahead.
really, like, just not being able to go see the babies is hard.
I know,
Like, I
but
miss
it's
you
better
guys.
for everybody
Oh yeah.
that we
Oh
all
yeah.
stay apart and do our part in reducing the spread.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I was telling Steph when you walked out, like, I have not had a hard time at all, like, keeping away from people.
Me either.
So, because she said that she's an extrovert, so she she misses being around people. I'm like, I have not seen that as a struggle yet.
Yeah. No, I'm an extrovert and an introvert. Like, I
Mhm.
have my extrovert moments, but I'm
Yeah.
really like, I'm okay being by myself.
Yeah.
Some like when I recharge, I want to recharge with people sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
But sometimes I don't. Like,
Yeah.
it just depends on how I need to recharge. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
On
it's
that
just
moment. Yeah.
in that moment. Sometimes I just want to be left alone. Others I'm like, let's go out and do stuff. Like
Yeah.
this weekend I wanted to recharge and I wanted to be outside. Like, I just wanted
Yeah.
to go outside. And I told I was like, I just want to go to the fucking store. Like, I just want to go shopping.
Yeah.
And he's like, shop online. I'm like, it's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to be able to pick up the objects and say, this is a stupid item. Why would anyone buy this? And then buy it. So it just was hard for me to not. I was like, I still have enough deodorant, but I was like, I'm running out of deodorant. And I told I was like, I need to go buy deodorant. Yeah, I was like, so I don't smell like a gringa over here.
Gringa.
Like, sometimes when I like forget to put on deodorant, he's like, you're smelling like a gringa.
Oh my God. I didn't. Wow.
Yes, I'm like, okay, what does that even mean?
Damn.
Does your daughter smell like a gringa? Because
The mother of your child
smells like half bad. That's what she.
And he's always like, no, she's not a gringa. She's Dominican. I'm like, actually, she's an American citizen, and she's part American and part Dominican.
Yeah.
All right. So who was talking about happiness? You were, Andy?
Yeah. I guess
happiness
I never defined what happiness is to me. Okay, but I like I said, I kind of have a tough time stopping day to day and thinking like, oh, like I'm happy. I mean, even though I'm not saying that I feel sad or something, but it's just not something I think of all the time. Like, I don't ask myself every day, like, are you happy? I just kind of like go on my day-to-day activities, like not considering if I'm happy or if I'm sad. Like, I just I just live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so I guess there's good and bad to that, where I don't really like analyze every single thing that is happening to me, and I don't question like, oh, is this good? Is this bad? I kind of just tend to go with the flow sometimes. Um but then I guess that's also bad because then I don't I don't take the time to consider maybe like how I could improve my life, or take the time to consider like what are the things that make me happy, and like continue to do those things, right? Like I don't take the
You
time
don't.
to really
Yeah.
like
Analyze
Yeah.
analyze
the
myself.
Which honestly, like,
or take a health check. Take a
yeah.
mental.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, maybe that.
I that you make a good point though, because like, how often do you really question your happiness on a day-to-day basis? But if you
Mhm.
think about it, like, do you ever question your happiness when you're unhappy though? Like when you feel like shit is hitting the fan,
Uh-huh.
do you ever question like, what could I do to be happy? Why am I not happy? Like, have you
Yeah.
ever had a moment like that?
Well, I mean, I guess I know.
In the moment when you're not
Sorry.
happy, you know why you're not happy, right? Like
Not
I feel like I do.
necessarily.
I feel like whenever I'm not happy, I know what made me unhappy
Mhm.
But I
in the
mean, are you
situation. I
talking?
feel like.
Okay, so what I'm looking at is, okay, so to me, what you're describing,
Mhm.
Andy, is basically like a subcategory of happiness, which is
Yeah.
contentment, which is also in
Yeah.
the definition, but it sounds like you're content. And when you're not content with how things are going, that's when I feel like you
Yeah.
start to question it really. You don't, I mean, I really don't stop to think, is this happiness? If I'm
Yeah.
going through the motions, if I'm feeling it,
Yeah.
if I'm content with how
Yeah.
things are going, I
Yeah.
don't look for the
Or I
fact.
mean, even if I'm going through like a tough time, like I know that will be
Andy,
over, and then yes,
what is your zodiac sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go continue.
This
And
is
well,
so
let's turn this into the zodiac
this,
episode now.
this
I want you to analyze me right now.
No, no.
if only,
I always think like, is this a reflection of your like
Zodiac.
star
Yeah.
chart, you
Yeah.
know?
hmm I
Like
feel
in
that.
the way you're, way you fall around. Maybe that could be the next episode, the zodiac.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we
Do you guys
should.
do okay? Sounds good.
All
Yeah.
right.
Because
I
so
don't.
I found something else on what you were saying, like what makes a person, since we're talking about what makes us happy, and I
Mhm.
don't know if this might help you with some insight, Andy, on like your answer, but three main things, supposedly, according to the interweb. No, it says three main things that make people happy are close relationships, a
Yeah.
job, or a pastime,
Money.
like a hobby, and
Yeah.
helping others. And I remember you mentioning helping others
Mm.
at our first attempt at this episode, Anita. On the other hand, it's money and material things. It says money and material things do not have a lot to do with happiness.
Yeah.
And people
But they
who
make a lot of people feel happy.
girl, I'd rather cry under a roof than in the middle of the street in the rain
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Anybody
than under a
would.
bridge. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but
Money.
comfort, like that
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes me happy.
So
Yeah.
I think that for me from that list, maybe hobby applies to me, because like
Yeah.
I said, like I know certain actions I need to take in order to make myself feel better. Like one, take a shower, wash my hair, makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
So I know like certain steps that I need to take to make myself feel happy, but like I haven't tied my identity to like a certain job, or I haven't tied my identity to like a certain amount of money or whatever. So I don't, obviously we said that money can make you comfortable, which makes you happy or content. So I agree
Yeah.
with that. Um but yeah, I guess like you said, Steph, like when I am having bad days, do I know how to make myself kind of go back to like a neutral feeling? Yes, I do. So then I don't have to go back and question like, am I happy? Am I sad? Like what's going on with me?
Happiness for me. What makes you happy, Anita? Thanks for asking, ladies.
Okay, go ahead. What makes you happy, Anita?
So I'm just thinking on the list that you gave us, and some of those was like helping others, hobby, and money or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that like seeing other people's happy, seeing the people that I love, being able to make them happy makes me happy. So I feel like services make me happy, not necessarily like going out and helping the needy or anything.
Yeah. Like it needs to be a person you know.
Yeah. Like a loved one, like a friend or a family member or like even a coworker. Like today, for example, my coworker, we were on a meeting, a Zoom meeting, and she mentioned that one of her friends in Spain died from coronavirus.
Aww,
and I felt so bad. And like nobody in the meeting, which was, I don't know if it was surprising to me that nobody said we're sorry.
Yeah.
Nobody said.
No, that is like what?
They were just all like, I'm so sad, like that sucks, and that really sucks or whatever. So like afterwards I reached out to her, I texted her and I said, I'm really sorry for your loss. I know it really sucks. If you need anybody to talk to, I'm here.
Yeah.
And she was like, and I was like, un abrazo fuerte. And she was like, that really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And she was like, you really don't know how much that meant to me.
Yeah.
So like that made me feel good.
Yeah.
And I also mentioned, I think the last time, like I like to see people laugh. Like you guys, whenever I see you guys laughing at the things I say, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because laughter, like even if you're not happy when I say the comment, it at least lightens your mood and it will help influence you to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, because like you might not be in the mood to laugh, but if I can at least try to make you laugh, then it makes me feel better. You know?
Yeah.
Like whenever Yender's mad at me or something, I try to make him laugh.
Yeah.
And he does the same thing to me, but it don't work for me.
Yeah, I feel like that's a tricky, like for me personally, I always find myself like at this line where it's like, okay, do I let people kind of experience their feelings or whatever, or do I try to make them happy? Do you know what I mean? Like I always ask myself, like, not like, is it my job or is it my duty or whatever, but it's like do they need me to lighten their mood or make them happy, or should I just kind of let them work this out for themselves and just back off? Because like personally for me, I think that's what I kind of want from people. Like I don't want you to try to make me feel better.
And sometimes that, like, people trying to make me feel better, it makes me annoyed. Like,
exactly.
It gets on my nerves. I'm like, can you just shut the fuck up and leave me alone?
Yeah. So then it's like that's, I guess that's when you really need to understand the other person and realize their needs and desires, because it's like there's just so many different personalities out there, you know, that people need so many different,
and like so many split personalities, because like sometimes, like I said, like I like people to be involved in my happiness, but and like help me get back to that happy state, but other times I'm like, fuck off.
I don't. So you just kind of have to read the situation, but Steph.
No, I agree. I just feel like like if I need help, if I need help being happy, like, but like it's like,
but you're not gonna ask for that help, are you?
No,
like
no, but it's one of those where, like, if I like the conversation we had last week, the fight that we had last week, like that was me subconsciously crying out for help, crying out for somebody to lighten the mood. That's my way of crying out for help. But if like I don't, like, you know, if I don't want you to help me be happy again, then I'm not gonna reach out to you. I'm just gonna shut down. I'm gonna turn off my phone. I'm not gonna answer. Like, but yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, I do like seeing people smile and laughing, and like even if that means falling flat on my face.
But another thing that makes me happy, like Andy mentioned, was like her hobbies, and my hobbies also make me happy. Like my YouTube channel, I consider that to be my hobby.
Yeah.
Like cooking is my hobby, and then I'm sharing that through my YouTube channel. I'm sharing other things through my YouTube channel, but sharing mostly cooking through my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It makes me happy to be able to do that, even if nobody even fucking looks
Yeah, it's just for
like it's just for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Hey, Talia can go back. That could be her recipe book.
Right,
I
it can
know.
totally be her recipe book. But yeah, last night I was working on a new intro for my channel, and like when I got finished with it, I was jumping up and down in the seat. I was like, "This looks so fucking good."
Oh,
It probably doesn't look that good, but I like it.
I know. Like as long as it makes you happy, that's so
yeah.
yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
do you guys feel like? Because I feel like the word happy is jumping around more than the word happiness. Like, do
Yeah.
you think that they can be considered two different things? Because
But
like,
what makes you happy isn't that happiness?
Well, no, I think that's what I'm saying. It's like the word happiness, I think it's like used so much by like people trying to sell you things, you know, that it's like I said, like to me happiness is kind of a scary term because then you like have to stop and think about, or I would stop and think about my whole life, and it's like
yeah,
holy shit, like no, I'm not, there's no happiness. um but like being happy, like I said, it's that feeling, it's that emotion. And just like any feeling and emotion, it won't always be there. And that's okay. So I think it is easier to think of like being happy, that phrase, as a part to like experiencing happiness
the
in
whole
your,
life,
yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe
whole
because it's,
idea in general.
yeah.
So like, happy is this much, and
Yeah,
happiness is this much.
exactly.
Happy is the little picture, and happiness is the big picture.
Yeah, like happy that I can stop and like if I take a moment to think about like certain things, I'm like, oh, like that makes me happy, I'm happy, etc., blah blah blah. But like happiness as a whole, holy moly.
Do you think that this is just like something I thought of like right now? Do you
Not
think
allowed.
that I know. But do you think that your job can bring you happiness? Like,
Yes.
whenever we're I guess in high school and college,
Yeah,
everybody tells you like everything that they suggest is do what makes you happy. But
yeah,
how do you like a freaking teenager? How is a teenager supposed to know what makes them happy
yeah,
in the future? Like you're thinking 10
yeah,
years from now,
yeah,
I'm going to be in a job, or I hope it doesn't take you 10 years to graduate from college, but 5 years from now, I mean it
yeah.
couldn't be. I think it took me 8. But but 5-10 years from now, you're supposed to be projecting your mental thoughts into what's going to make me happy. And
Yeah,
as a human being, we naturally
yeah,
evolve, and the things that make us happy change on a
yeah,
daily basis, if
yeah.
not a weekly or monthly basis.
and
So
and the
how
thing
is somebody supposed to choose a career path that makes
It's
them
called
happy?
it's called trial and error. I knew that I wanted to help people. I knew that that was something that I wanted to do that would make me happy in the future when I was in college. Didn't know what I wanted to do when I was in high school or a teenager, but do what makes you happy. It's like a lot of days, like my job, what had me questioning my happiness. Like time and time again, I would
That's
come
me every
home.
day.
Yeah, like I would come home crying by myself because Mitch and I were apart, or I'd call Mitchell crying,
Mhm.
devastated because my job was breaking me down.
Yeah, yeah,
Feel nothing to the point where I was just day in and day out. Really do think that happiness has a lot to do with something like your job or your hobby.
yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy and I was really depressed. Like I was on strong anxiety medicine, going to therapy, strong antidepressants, like I was in it deep. I was
Yeah.
depressed because of my job. Like, not because of my job, but because I was letting my job make me unhappy.
Yeah.
But for sure, like those different aspects, like my relationship was, because my job was so awful, my relationship was going through turmoil, and all the other things were in my life.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you find a good balance, like now that I like my job and I love what I do, I love my kiddos, it's hard for me to stop working.
Yeah.
Like it was really hard for me to tell her that this week has got to be my last week in person with the kids, because I love my job, and I never thought I'd be able to say that, because normally I'm like, I can't wait to just have a week off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I legit look forward to it. I'm happy with my job.
Do you think if you worked like a not this job that you absolutely like love, but just like a job that didn't make you like super upset as in crying every night, and um and a job that like you didn't love, but just like a job where you went in at 8 a.m. and you went out at like 4 or 5 p.m., whatever the schedule was, but
Yeah.
A
like didn't
job that you indirectly helped people. Would that
So
make you?
I did working where I was working. I was helping the Spanish community with their financial needs, but I wanted to do more and help. But it got to the point where the environment at my job was so toxic
yeah.
that it's made me start to hate my job. I
It's
started like, I can see myself here in 10, 15 years.
mhm.
I could totally see me working in that industry for longer than I did. But it got to the point where I was so neutral. I wanted more. I wanted to be happy.
Mhm.
Plus the environment got so toxic, because it started off great
Mhm.
for like a year, almost 2 years, and then the last 3 years was hell.
So do you think it's bad being neutral?
No, I don't think it's bad. I just think for me, it
It
didn't work, because
yeah.
eventually I wanted more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
And I think
wanted some.
everybody does. I think
Mhm.
everybody
I
in
don't think
whatever
so.
position, no matter what, like you eventually want more. Like, yeah, you're happy with the position you're at right now, but you're working towards more. Like you're working towards not just being a facilitator, right? Is that what that's what you are, right?
Yeah.
Peer facilitator or whatever. You're working towards becoming more than just a peer facilitator. You want to be, I don't know what.
Or at
What's
least
that?
advancing your skills, like
Advance,
always
yeah.
Yeah.
advancing your
Yeah, no, I
Advance.
skills. Like
definitely want to advance in what I'm doing for sure. But I
mhm.
feel like that's where my happiness would grow. Like once, like I'm actually interested in learning more and getting more out of my job, as opposed to before I was like, okay, well, this is about as far as I'm gonna get.
Yeah. So then, okay, so I talked about how happiness, like I have my certain routine that I know will like bring me back to like the level that I
And
want
that's
to
so
be
good
at.
to have.
The
That is
content
so good to
level.
have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have your job now, which you love. And Anita, you love your hobby too of like
Mhm.
YouTube, sharing your cooking channel and like kind of like exploring your other skills too, which I think
Mhm.
is awesome. So then, but then this kind of makes me think that happiness is not intrinsic. Like,
Mhm.
because we're kind of attaching our happiness to something
See
that
something, yeah.
this whole conversation is kind of making it seem like we're each kind at attaching our happiness to something, whether we're like aware of it or not. And though that something may change from time to time, like right now, it's what we're doing. I'm not saying it's bad or good, but
No, and I agree with that, but also I feel like we all know that it comes from somewhere within us, and we just want to make more of it. Like I
Mhm.
know I like helping people, and that's why I wake up every day.
Yeah, I agree also, like, well, no, I don't agree. Like, I do feel like it comes within because
uh-huh.
I taught myself how to cook.
Yeah.
So, and nobody taught that to me.
Mm-hmm.
It just came, I don't want to say it came naturally, but it kind of did. Like my mom's a horrible cook. No offense. No offense, Carmen, but your blue cheese chicken was shit. But anyway, I won't bore you people with that. But like she was not a good cook. My grandma, however, is a good cook. So I think it came from watching my grandma, watching my mom screw up and wanting to make things better. It kind of does have a play on like the exterior, but like still it was me within my mind saying, "Let me try this." Not them telling me this is going to make you happy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone, well, I mean, as the conversations that each of us have had, I don't think anyone has told us like this will make you happy, right? Like Steph, you found your job through trial and error, and you chose to like cook, cook the things that you wanted to cook and share that. But what I'm saying is like, I don't know, I guess I'm comparing it to kind of like meditation and what I've heard meditation is like, right? Where you reach this like state of euphoria where you are literally just sitting there on the floor, eyes closed, breathing, whatever it may be. But like there in that moment, or, like you can bring your mind to that state of like contentment or happiness just doing that. I don't know that much about meditation, but that's what I'm comparing kind of like our things to, where we are kind of like doing things to reach that state of happiness and not just being that state of happiness. Do you know what I mean?
But I feel like there are different categories of happiness because like I'm not a meditation
Freak.
guru either. But like I have like
Specialist.
practiced meditation and like I did get pretty far in my practice, and now I don't do it much anymore, but I should. But like whenever I was practicing, like it was a different state of happiness because it was just like it was more like just content relaxation.
So like peace, maybe?
Like peace, yeah. It was peace.
Okay.
But I feel a different type of happiness when I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like cooking with love, like excitement. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a different type of happiness.
Okay.
I feel like.
See, now that I like that. I like that you talked about the different categories, because now I can like see the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, I have a question, which is, how do you guys feel about sharing your happiness? Are you kind of like shy about it? Are you thinking that people will judge you? Are you thinking that people will think that you're like kind of, I guess, bragging about your happiness? I guess I kind of want to touch on like social media and happiness.
It's fake news. I'm just kidding.
Fake. She's not happy.
I don't care. Like I share my happiness all the time. Like I was happy that Talia was crawling, so I shared it with everybody. I'm like, oh shit, we need an army to get this army of turtles. Yeah. But we need an army to make sure she doesn't go anywhere. Yeah.
And what if?
But I was happy that she started crawling, and like it only like I was practicing with her for 2 weeks, so I did my job.
Yeah. But like I saw that video and I commented on it, and she is so cute. But what if no one had commented on it? What if no one had liked it? Like, is this some?
I don't care.
Yeah, you don't care.
I don't care. Like I've posted videos of Talia and things of Talia that people haven't commented on. Like I know we live in a society where we look for the
Are you sure? Wait. Are you sure no one? Because she is too.
No, I'm saying people. I have. No, in the past I have posted pictures that like hardly anybody commented on, but I don't care. That's not why I posted them.
Yeah.
Why I posted
No, I know, but she's so cute.
I know, but whatever.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I posted them because like I know Facebook. I mean, I don't know that Facebook's not going to go anywhere, but like at least I know I can house some of the pictures in there.
Yeah,
and then they pop back on and they pop back on the memories later, and that's what I like about Facebook is like 1 year ago this is what happening, and I'm like anyway. But I know we live in a society where we kind of live our life around social media and like all the likes, and did I get a lot of likes, and is my video sharing, and do I have comments on it, and who said what, like is it positive, is it negative? But personally I don't let that define my happiness.
Yeah.
Because if I let that define my happiness, or if anybody lets it define their happiness, then are they really happy?
They're gonna be
Yeah.
sorely disappointed. But it's also to kind of extend on that. Like it's also like me, who unfortunately, like, I really like being liked, but I like
Yeah.
being liked in person.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really like. I like
I
attention.
think you like being needed.
I like being liked. I mean, obviously, I love being needed because it is what it is. Let's call a spade, but I also like being liked. I like when people like me.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't like me, it's gonna fuck with me for a while.
I I'll say I agree with you. I like when people like me too. Like it makes me feel really good. So like
I could care less.
yeah, that's why I was gonna say like I think everybody does, but then I thought no, Anita probably doesn't.
I don't care if you like me or not.
But
We
it's okay. I
stand
don't care
corrected.
about helping people, so I'm
Yeah.
like out of that triangle.
Yeah.
But now but
Like
I
sorry, go
relate
ahead.
to you on this like area stuff where like I like when people like me, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
they have good taste, so I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I know, obviously. It's like I really like being people's friends. Like
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking back in my head, like I don't ever remember asking myself when I was younger, like I wonder if she likes me. Like I don't think I've ever
Oh no, I
Yeah.
was
had that
always
thought.
worried about
Yeah.
being unpopular. I was a total
Yeah.
loser, but I
Yeah.
was worried about that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, everybody aspires to be popular, but I don't think I ever like was like, oh crap, I'm not
Yeah.
popular.
I was always the girl where it's
You
like,
know?
are they hanging out without me? Like
Yes,
like the Mindy Kaling book, like, is everybody hanging out without me?
without me,
Yeah.
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 No, I was
Yes,
that
I'm
kid,
hanging
but
out with her.
also I was that kid because my parents were really overprotective, so I didn't really have a life as a teenager outside of my house.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I went to go hang out with anybody in my neighborhood, it was like 2 hour limit, unless it was
Yeah.
the neighbors grew up with
Yeah.
back in Jersey.
I have a
Mm-hmm.
question,
Yes,
and it
ma'am.
kind of relates to this, what we're already talking about. But what is something that makes you happy, or has made you happy since you were younger?
You mean like something that has continued to make
Yeah,
you
has
happy?
continued to make you happy
Yeah.
since your youth.
Reading
Um, mine would be
and art.
that's good.
Reading
Um,
and art.
Mine would be definitely like just being active. Like I growing up, I was a swimmer and I did cross country, and like that just like every time I jump in the pool, I feel so good. But like to swim laps, I'm not saying like like when I go and swim laps, like I mean I think the whole time. Like I am thinking through my life when I am swimming. I am
I
like
would just be thinking about, okay, how do I move this on?
no, like to me, it's second. Like I don't have to think
Yeah.
about breathing. I don't have to think like, and I can go because of my like training. Like I can go
Yeah.
at a steady pace. Like I could not get tired, and so like I have the ability to kind of just like that is my meditation.
Oh yeah, I
Like
gotta breathe.
yeah, but yeah, like the pool is my happy place. Like swimming laps, that makes me feel so good. And it's like
Looks
my
like you
therapy.
want to go to the pool.
I
Yeah,
know.
no,
I'm
it looks.
thinking about it right now. Oh my god. I know. It feels so good. Okay.
For me, happy, like my happy thoughts whenever I think of when I'm younger, and it still happens now, is like like making memories, like spending time with people, spending
Mhm.
time with family, friends, whatever, and like actually making memories, like not
Yeah.
just sitting and talking like we all sit and talk,
Yeah.
but like act like playing board games, or like having, a game night or whatever.
Yeah.
Like every Christmas and Thanksgiving, the one thing I look forward to is not the gifts, and
Yeah.
it's not even the food. It's playing board games with my
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
because we always play board games, and if we
Uh-huh.
don't play board games, I feel like that
It
seasonal
wasn't.
tradition,
Yeah.
it's not complete.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so those are what we still do,
Mhm.
and it just makes me happy.
Yeah. That's good.
I like that, but for sure, like reading, because the Harry Potter series
Yeah.
Mhm.
saved my teenage life.
Mm-hmm.
I think it saved a lot of teenagers' life. I started reading them again.
I
And
let
I'm seeing so many new things in there. I'm like,
yeah.
wow.
Every time I read them,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. And
Yeah.
then I've been reading it with one of my students, with
Nice.
little Jack Attack.
Yeah.
I've been reading it to him, and he loves it.
Yeah.
And then Davis, my morning kid, he loves it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! So it's like
Yeah.
a really nice way to be able to relate, and like, because I loved Harry Potter.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Then and like also like like every time I go through my stuff, I find these pictures that I drew when I was like 7 years old, like of like Disney, like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Winnie the Pooh, all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff that I drew, like freehand drew, that look
Yeah.
exactly like the
Yeah.
pictures. So that brings me happy, like back to my happy place. Like, I used to love to do this,
Mm-hmm.
not for the recognition, but because I was fucking good.
Yeah.
I was a good artist when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like,
I
it's
liked to
ugly.
draw when I was younger too.
Yeah, I love to draw. So
Not
going back to
now I
those
don't.
things
So
and
then do you
trying
think
them.
it's not a good idea to like turn your happiness into like a means of income? Do you think that's kind of mixing things that shouldn't be mixed? You know what I
No,
mean?
like
Like if
going
you
back to
uh-huh.
do what makes you happy. Like when everybody
Yeah.
gives you suggestions on what you should do with your life, they always say, do what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
If it
So if
brings bank,
drawing makes you happy and reading makes you happy, find something that focuses around
Yeah.
those things.
But then what I'm saying is like when that turns into a career, it might turn
Stop. Like
like
turn
it might like
like in,
stressors will come
yeah.
into that will become attached to that idea, right?
Yeah.
Like finances and all that stuff and money, and like if you're a big artist then you might have to pay like somebody who works for you, and then you know like it's just adding extra things.
but also, like you were saying, dreams change, and you're
Yeah.
happy, your types of happiness change. It's trial and error. It's different etapas,
Stages.
stages.
Goals or
Yes.
stages.
It's different stages in your life that like it's just constant change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's what I'm saying. Like, what if something that makes you happy, turn that into a career, and then 5 years later, you're like, oh my God, like, I'm so tired of this. Is it a
Maybe you
career
have a
change?
5-year attention span.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That
fine.
sounds like me.
Yeah, me too. I definitely have a 5-year attention.
Dude, that was me. Like, I was really happy in banking, and then I wasn't after 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lord knows, like,
Yeah.
I'm on year 1 and I'm still happy, but I think it's called the honeymoon phase.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like in the honeymoon phase,
So
and I
we'll
feel like
see.
the
So
honeymoon phase changes. Like,
yeah.
maybe this isn't what I want to do
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yeah.
long run. But
Well, we're
like,
millennials, right? We're supposed to have a new job like every
Every 5 years.
every 5 years.
exactly, shit. I might end up being real happy working at McDonald's one day.
Yeah.
We never
Yeah.
know.
Hey, those like really they're tedious jobs. That's what I call them, tedious jobs. Sometimes those tedious jobs are great because you can go to work and you don't have to think about shit.
See, that's what I was trying to get at when I was trying to say, like, what if you had a job from, like, you know, like a set schedule that it was a tedious job, like it was like kind of like a mind-numbing job or whatever, where you didn't have to bring it home and you didn't have to care about it so passionately either, you know? Like, what if it
But
was
it's,
just a job?
yeah.
Like, would you be happy? Like,
And my answer is yes.
yeah, yeah,
Because yes, I'm a teacher, and yes, teachers bring their work home with them.
yeah,
But I've never in my entire 5 years of teaching have I ever brought any manual work home with me.
yeah,
I refuse to bring any papers to grade home with me because work, like tedious work, like that type of work stays at work.
yeah,
Now, that doesn't mean I don't think of my next lesson plan in the shower at 8
yeah,
a.m.
yeah,
or
yeah.
6 a.m., whatever time I'm awake. Then that is work to me. And
Yeah.
it's not that I don't think of what Susie said about
Yeah,
this activity. Like
yeah,
that's still work.
yeah,
So it's always on my mind.
yeah.
But like a McDonald's job,
Mm-hmm.
I could leave McDonald's at McDonald's and come
Mhm.
home and do my YouTube channel and not think about Susie at all.
Yeah.
Y'all know how many times I have thought about going back to the restaurant industry because I know that I'm just gonna get cash on the spot, go home with my tips, and leave it, and not have to worry about it the next day. Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, that'd be nice. But
You sweat
I
your
feel
ass off.
better now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not at that stage anymore. I'm at the stage where I want to find fulfillment, and this is my means of it.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of can tie to happiness. Like, if you're feeling fulfilled, of course you're gonna like your job, or of course you're gonna feel happier than most people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, one last question before we wrap it up. What now, in this moment, in Coronaville, is making you happy? Or it brings you happiness?
Coronaville.
You start.
Okay, I'll answer first.
Yeah.
So right now, being able to spend time with my small little family is bringing me happiness.
Mhm.
Like being able to wake up with Talia, give her breakfast, give her her bath, and then give her back to her father is
Yeah.
bringing me happiness.
Yeah.
Granted,
That's
I'm
cute.
spending like 3 hours with her in the morning. That is bringing me happiness.
Yeah.
And then takes care of her for a little while, and then I take care of her again.
Yeah.
But that is bringing me happy. Even though, like I say, like, okay, being working from home, or let's call working remotely,
Mhm.
and being in the same house for now, I haven't left. Like, I have left to go outside for a walk or whatever,
Mhm.
and to go to the trash can and to the mailbox or whatever, but I haven't left. Like, I don't know what it looks like out there. So Coronaville looks like Coronaville. I don't even know what she looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soon we're gonna see tumbleweed.
Yeah, but
Dude, it looks like the beginning of The Walking Dead. That's what it looks like.
well,
As long as it doesn't look like the end of Walking Dead, we'll be fine.
right.
Yeah.
But I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Let me jump back on that track. Anyway, but being in the house has been kind of stressful because I guess I get like cabin fever, and I'm just like, I gotta go somewhere. I gotta do something. And then I aggravate Yinder, and I'm like, you get to leave. It was kind of like whenever I was taking care of Talia for the first 6 weeks. Like, not only did I have my hormones going crazy, but I also like didn't leave the house because he had the only car that was working, or the other car was working. We just didn't want to take Talia anywhere in it because it has a cracked windshield. But like just getting cabin fever and like kind of annoying Yinder, that's been like working on our relationship, I think. So it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but anyway, that's what's making me happy.
Yeah.
Spending time with people. Sorry.
For me, my happiness right now is like I'm down to one kid. So being able to help him so that he can get on track for school is nice. But also waking up in the morning and having coffee with Mitchell makes me really happy.
Mhm.
And then coming home and like hearing that like stories about the dogs and the cats and like what shenanigans one of them did, and then coming home and everybody talking to me at the same time.
So what makes me happy right now is kind of the opposite of cabin fever. So because I have a sassy 4-month-old baby, an unpredictable 4-month-old baby that just makes such loud noises all the time. Whether she's crying or like super happy, it's just like loud all the time. I feel like back before this all started, you know, I like Emery's mom would invite me to lunch, like out to like Panera or whatever all the time. And I mean, there were a limited amount of excuses that I could use, you know, like, oh, she's napping, or, you know, like whatever, or I have to feed her. I don't know. You know, like at some point I had to tell her yes, and then I had to like leave the house with a crazy baby, and I'm like, oh god, like it was just really stressful for me to like leave the house and wonder like, is she gonna go crazy in the middle of a restaurant? Like, is she just gonna start crying or blah blah blah? Which I know, like, it's a baby and it's gonna happen no matter what. But like, I kind of like to make that decision for myself rather than like having to feel like I have to say yes to an invitation. So anyway, so now there are like 0 invitations coming in to go anywhere or do anything. So, which is making my life so much easier because it's like I don't have to worry about it. Like if I want to go, we can go to the parks here. Like there's the park 3 minute from here and it's like empty all the time. Like there's nobody there. Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know, it's just making my life easier where like I can kind of just chill with my baby and not really have to worry about anything, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cuz it was just adding anxiety to like my day-to-day basis. Yeah. So it's like, you know, like she's going to when she gets older, she'll calm down a little bit, or she'll be able to express herself better. And outings will be easier, but right now there's no need for me to put myself through that stress.
I don't know if your baby, I mean, I know your baby is completely different than mine, but Talia is a shower. Like she likes to put on a show. But whenever we're at home, she's really loud and likes to talk, especially you guys have heard her on the podcast. You know, she gets real loud. But that's at home. And then for some reason, whenever we're out, like especially when we're like out walking or like we're at any public place, she is like a quiet little mouse. Yesterday we were out walking and she was like calm the whole time. Like, I mean, here and there she would be like, and I'm like, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
And then we walked in and she started screaming her head off.
Yep. No, Isla is the exact opposite. Like she'll be calm, she'll be chill at home with me and she'll just scream all the time. Like if she sees anybody's face besides Emery's face and my face, she just like loses her shit. And I'm like, we need to work on this. Not now, but we need to work on this.
Oh,
like I have to tell people, like I promise, like they're like, oh, like has it been a rough day or something, like every time people see me I'm like, has it been a rough day? Because they're like, they've seen Isla cry. I'm like, no, it's been completely fine until she sees you. Yeah, and then she's gonna cry. So it's like,
so she's a shower too, just the
she's a shower,
kind.
just like the opposite showing. Yeah. So all right, well, this was fun.
3, 2,
1.
Puta vida.
Oh my god. Adios.
Ciao.